some of our officers were out here doing what you would expect them to do. They were patrolling this area. They had observed an individual that they felt like was out here and acting in a suspicious manner. They then observed him for a little longer and developed probable cause to make a legal stop. When they attempted to stop this individual, he quickly got inside a vehicle and fled, driving over 100 miles an hour in Hamilton Place parking lot as well as the perimeter. Our officers pursued this individual in an attempt to stop them due to this risk to public safety. When the officers started to approach and gain on the individual, he got caught up in traffic, because as we know, this is a congested area full of our community members that are just out here shopping and trying to enjoy their time. The driver of this vehicle decided to ram members of our community's vehicles in an attempt to get away. And not just that, but then he backed up and tried to ram them again. He actually did ram them multiple times to try and get away. At one point, after trying to get away, he got caught up on a curb, and our patrol officers moved up to try and stop and then end this attempt to flee. In doing so, the suspect appears to try and lurch forward with the vehicle again, striking one of the officers. The officers fired on the suspect that was driving. There were also two other individuals that were in the vehicle. The party that was driving the vehicle did succumb to his injuries, and the two other parties were slightly injured, various injuries that I'm not 100% sure what those are at this time. They were transported. One of those has been released, but the other is detained.
So there were 3 people in the vehicle.
There were a total of 3 people.
The driver is passed
Yes.
fatality, and 2 others were taken to the hospital, and 1 has been released.
That's correct.
Did the pursuit ever leave the parking lot here?
No, it did not. It stayed in this area. Most of it occurred in the outer ring area, and then it ended right here behind me.
So did any innocent people get hurt due to that?
There was some members of our community that were in the vehicles that were rammed were complaining of some minor injuries. They weren't treated by any medical personnel at this time, but they were complaining of it. And the officers that were involved are okay as well.
How long do you anticipate police being out here on this?
So at this point in time, the investigation has been turned over to a third party, which is the TBI, which is part of the protocol. So the TBI is in charge of the crime scene at this point in time. We will continue to assist like we always do, but they will be in charge of the investigation as it moves forward.
And you said this entire pursuit happened within the mall. So were they looking for this suspect beforehand, or was it the reckless driving that really?
So they were in the area patrolling, just doing what you would expect your police officers to do, being out here. They identified someone who was acting suspicious. They then observed him and developed probable cause to make the actual lawful stop. And it was after that the suspect decided to flee and then try to harm other members of our community.
Right, and the suspect never came to that complete stop for the officers. They immediately.
So do you anticipate charges against the other 2 members, the other 2 people inside that car?
It is very preliminary at this time, so and this is being investigated by the TBI, so I'm not certain on what that might look like.
Is there anything else that we left out that's important to know, or that you would like to say to the community or anyone around Hamilton Place?
I'd say it's important to know, especially on a day like today. So we had our law enforcement memorial this morning, where we honored those members of law enforcement throughout the country that have lost their lives doing their jobs. And today is an example of how actions of criminals in our community can lead to something like that. I'm very thankful that none of our officers were injured. It's tragic that a member of our community had to pass, but this type of behavior is not going to be acceptable in the city of Chattanooga or in Hamilton County.
And last question, the car that's wrapped around the Hamilton Place sign, was that the vehicle that you guys were pursuing?
Again, it's preliminary. That is my understanding. It is my understanding that is the vehicle that the individuals were trying to flee in.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
It's good to